Hey, yo, what's good, man? We are back with another episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast. And today we came to bring y'all a pick chosen by Bob Celeste, man. Before we get into that, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Showtime Slim. Who else we got in the building?
Oh yeah, it's Bob Celeste. I'm the best. Regular shit. Let's go, man.
Big Lordy Lord, and I'm here, man. What's happening? Let's do it.
All right, man. We got Luno. You can go ahead and introduce it and tell us why you chose this movie too.
Yep. So this movie is 2007's Paranormal Activity, starring Katie Featherston and Micah Sloan, right? Yeah. Ka-
Yeah, they were
yeah.
saying Mika in the movie for some reason,
Nigga
but it's
named
spelled
Mika,
like Micah.
man.
That's a fact. It's spelled like Micah though, so whatever.
Yeah. Whichever way, I picked the movie because I want to get back in that horror bag. It's a movie that obviously I watched a while back and shit, and I remember it to be pretty scary, and I wanted to get down to why. I kind of had suspicions already going into it, but definitely wanted to just confirm whether or not this one was a classic and b if it was actually scary. So that was pretty much my mentality going into it. Um, shit's basically a young couple moves into a home, and shit's happening in the house. um, the girl apparently has like a history of experiencing the shit, and the shit's happening again in the house. And as shit goes through the movie, it becomes more and more apparent that there's some fucked up shit going on. And so that's basically the idea of the movie right there. Um, but I guess first off, like, anybody got any initial thoughts? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. All right, bro. Like, I used to love this movie. Watch that whole all the time. Shit was scary as hell to me growing up or whatever. But I also used to be like, Mika not tripping, bro. Like, I fuck with Mika, Micah, whatever the fuck his name is. But watching it back, he was doing some of the stupidest shit. That nigga was tripping, bro.
Yeah,
that
I
that
agree.
nigga was on bullshit, bro.
The whole time, bro.
Something in these horror movies that pops up a lot that speaks to that is that there's usually a problem, and there's at least one character that doesn't take the problem very seriously, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that one thing with this movie or whatever is that it's it's about demons. They had a ghost expert come over to the crib, says I think we're dealing with a demon because it's here, it's causing this mischief. It feels like it's aggressive, it's doing like aggressive shit. You don't want to aggravate it, you don't want to bother it, you should consult somebody that deals with demons. So this nigga
Hmm.
hears the warning and shit like that. He's even proposes he's gonna get a Ouija board, right? And so he was just told not to communicate with it, and he's getting a Ouija board. That there is just retarded to begin with. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems like every piece of advice he got, he tried to do the opposite. We shouldn't be trying to communicate with it. Ooh, let me play the voice files back and listen to what it's saying or whatever. Let me hold the camera up and yell down the hallway. Hey, you haven't done anything interesting in a while.
He was talking crazy to that
He
nigga.
called
Like,
that
you
nigga
good for
worthless. He
nothing.
called the demon worthless, bro.
Yeah, he was wilding on the demon.
Shout out Black
Yeah.
Roots, man. Salute,
Shout out
salute.
Black Roots, man. Appreciate you dropping by, bro. But you're definitely right. Michael was definitely there. As a source of not only ignorance, but I think stress. One thing that the guy was clear about was that negativity is like what feeds it. It's gonna do a bunch
Facts.
of antics to make you feel negative. But on top of that, too, I mean, what was one of the questions that the nigga asked? He said, do y'all get along? How's y'all relationship? And they were kind of quick to explain it away. We're good, we're engaged to be engaged, which is pretty much just a fancy way of saying I don't know if I want to marry this bitch, but you know what I'm saying? We got him a young white girl, student, whatever else. She fucking with him. He got money, so But it's clear to see between them, like their dynamic, that they love each other, but there's some miscommunications and shit. And I guess you guys picked up on it during the movie that both of them, like their dynamic was just like slowly falling apart. Like,
Yeah, Luno. I think, like you said, the dynamic from the very beginning is like you said, they're in love with each other. It's like that young love type shit, whenever uh, like a new situation, like a new relationship or somehow how people be whenever they like all rainbows and sunshines and shit. Like
Mhm.
it was like that at the
yeah,
beginning, and I think over the course of the movie is where we see like the more this shit gets out of hand with the demon, the more their relationship kind of strains and shit.
because
So
it's him though, bro. It's like she
Yeah,
told that nigga, like, bro, okay, I know this is new to you, but this shit been happening to me my whole life.
since she was 8.
Exploring this shit, bro.
Yeah,
he had a valid point though. He was like, could have told me, not like the first thing he told me, but you could have told me eventually, kind of deal.
Yeah.
So this is kind of coming as a shock to him, but it's definitely petty for him to be like, oh, so you believe in these ghosts and shit? Cool. I'm gonna put cameras, you know what I'm saying, and I'm
hey,
gonna film you. And
hey, Luno. That's why I think I didn't realize it until just now, maybe like 3, 4 minutes ago. But I kind of feel like this nigga Mika might have got what he deserved from all that fuck shit he was doing this whole movie.
Yeah.
so deserve in terms of like he did what he needed to do to get bodied, yes. Deserve in like the grand scheme of things, not really. I think they had a frayed like sort of relationship underneath the surface that basically he's like the know-it-all, and even if his wife complains, he could just give her a little kiss on the forehead and don't worry, babe, I got this. He wanted that to be the situation. She's giving him a lot of pushback and mouth and shit like that. He seemed like a nigga that just, what I'm saying, he want to be in control of the situation. So I don't
Right.
know if he deserved to get bodied by a demon, but I will say that everything that he did in this movie made it really, really likely that he was gonna get bodied by this
That's
demon.
why I think he deserved it. Like he
Well,
he was asking for it.
let me ask you something, Luno. If it's like a angry pit bull like behind the gate, and every time you walk by it, you like throw shit at it, throw sticks and shit at it, like tease it with food that, and you don't give it the food and shit. And that hoe finally you walk by and
Hmm.
it's not in the gate no more, and it tear your ass up. Like, don't you think you kind of deserve it
You
because you've been
deserve
fucking
that
with this
shit.
dog this for like a whole month?
Yeah, most definitely. I feel
That's
like
Mika.
you did everything that you wasn't supposed to do with that situation. So I definitely agree he got what he was asking for in this movie, but nonetheless, I gotta give these at least Paranormal Activity credit for one thing, which is they wrote into it that it was a demon. They set you up by saying negativity makes it worse and don't communicate with it. And what do the characters do? Exactly that. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
Yeah,
saying? So it's kind of like a waiting game, a matter of time. And the movie wasn't that long, all right? Like an hour and some change.
hour and a
Out.
half.
Yeah, like an hour and a half. So at least they didn't keep us in there for too long. But one question, obviously, I raised at the beginning of the podcast is whether or not this movie is actually scary. And that's one thing I want to ask y'all.
Yeah. To me it is like, even, yeah, I mean, bro, I did, like I said, I've seen this shit 50 times, but even last night when I was watching it, just the little stupid shit, like, okay, this bitch gonna wake up and stare at this nigga for a whole hour, like just standing and staring at him. It's not scary on film anymore, but if the situation is insane, bro. Like if I wake up and a bitch staring at me, and I look on the camera and she was standing for an hour, I'm out of there. Like, what the fuck
Yeah,
wrong with
that
this
was over
crazy
an hour
bitch?
too.
Yeah, like,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah, I agree with that. What he said, Luno. It's not that the movie is scary, but they had like some scary situations. Whereas if this happened to me in real life, yeah, it would be scary.
Yeah, a few things to note. One thing is obviously the use of sound. This is a found
Yes.
footage film, much like Blair Witch. And one thing that Blair Witch did that I think that this carried on as a spiritual successor was using realistic sounds to convey what was going on, with the exception, of course, of the baseline ambiance. I think that the little baseline is obviously just a sound effect, and it's very clear when the demon's approaching that sound kind of goes with it. But things like the footsteps on the stairs and stuff like that, the door creaking, like these things that could happen in your house, I think that sold it really well with the terror aspect of the movie and shit. Um,
Can I ask what Blair Witch was it? Because I wasn't on the episode. Which one did y'all watch?
so it
The
was the
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 old one
original.
or the
Hmm.
from like
Yeah.
'99 or something?
The original, yeah. And one thing they did in that movie too is they had the characters act in such a way where it didn't seem like they were reading a script. I'm talking about things like saying between the things that you're about to say. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Kind of waffling around, saying kind of nothing while you're talking, like things that people do candidly, not like when they're on a camera and they're recording for a movie. I thought they
Right.
did that pretty well. Like when they were on camera, it seemed like they were, they weren't really acting, they were actually in the situation. So
You talking about
that's
Blair
something
Witch
good.
or Paranormal Activity?
Both of them, it's a comparison. I think both of them did a good job of having the people that was on the camera just sort of acting like people who are being filmed in a way.
Yeah. So for this movie right here, they actually didn't use an actual script. They pretty much just told them how to act in what situation, this and that. So yeah, they didn't have a script for this film at all.
Right. That's really good too, because I think once you give people the script in the words, they start trying to figure out how to act those words. But in this
And
movie,
it's
it
kind of
seems like they
forced,
were
right?
exactly. Well, when you're acting a situation, I think it's a little different. A lot of times, actors will cry during the emotional segments, even if they are given a script. But to
Mhm.
really become a part, I feel like is the strength that this movie has. So they did pretty well at that. But I guess if there was like any, I guess, sort of holes to poke or whatever, one thing might be sort of the pacing, right? Because a lot of the stuff that happens before like the middle or like toward the end or whatever is just like pretty. It's just like pretty. I don't know, like shit that's creepy, but it's like creepy that can happen in anybody's house, right? And then we kind of have the daytime segments, and during the daytime segments, there's just them arguing and like expressing their apprehensions about the situations and shit like that, right? Like, so
Mhm.
there's not too much like kind of, well, you're just kind of watching to get more context to what happened the night before. I could
Yeah.
see that somebody who's not really, scared of the movie could take those parts to be a little bit boring or uninformative. So that would be the only thing, maybe.
How you feel
Yeah. I
about the
think with this, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, how y'all feel about the demon? Like that nigga just playing the long waiting game, just fucking with niggas. Like that nigga, like is he like a fifth grade prankster or something? Like what's wrong with that nigga?
So can I ask a question to y'all about that then?
Yeah, yeah,
So what I kind of think. So tell me if y'all think that, like Luno said, the beginning of the movie to like the first, maybe like the last 45 or 30 minutes, that's when like all the shit just was happening, like the crazy shit, really. Before that, it was nothing but like keys falling on the ground and doors moving and shit. So do y'all think that when he brought that Ouija board in there, that whenever the demon tried to communicate with him, remember the man told him, if you bring the Ouija board and try to talk to him, they're gonna think you're trying to communicate with him and you're gonna invite him in.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess he was already there, but do you think the Ouija board has something to do why it got more intense after that?
Definitely. I think maybe like on some Freddy Krueger shit, like that nigga can only do so much shit at first. Like I don't want to say
Yeah,
you gotta believe in it more, but the more you interact with it, the stronger it get. Like the more whole ass shit
right,
it
right.
can do. So bringing a fucking Ouija board, that's like literally trying to talk to me. Oh, you want to talk to me, bitch ass nigga? Watch this. That's pretty
Did y'all
much
see
what he did.
the symbol that was on the Ouija board?
Wasn't it like a pentagram or some shit like
Yeah,
that?
that was the pentagram shit. So
Yeah, and that hoe was on
that's the
fire. Like, just leave,
yeah,
Mika. Like, why are
yeah.
you there, bro? Like, I'm out of there. Like,
Because she said it's not about the house. Like I guess that the thing had been following her everywhere since
Slim,
she was
I
like
said
8.
Mika leave, not both of them
Oh,
leave together.
him.
Yeah, fuck
Oh,
her.
yeah, because this nigga wasn't even. This is the thing. This nigga right here. Unless you mean at the end when he was trying to leave.
Nigga,
You talking about that?
period. No, nigga. When
What?
I
Cause
first
who
went,
else? This.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
but then this nigga was playing around, bro. He was playing games. He thought it was a joke.
And nigga,
He
they caught
he
that
didn't
shit
take the
on
shit
camera,
serious.
right? When the Ouija board caught on fire, did they see that on camera?
He did. He was interested.
Oh,
She
I'm
didn't
out of
look at
there.
him.
I'm done.
That's why I say I think this nigga Mika got what he deserved because he was doing all this shit and his wife was telling him to stop fucking with it, stop antagonizing it, but he want to yell down the hole, oh yeah, your demon worthless and this and that, and like he's talking shit to this nigga and everything. He didn't take that shit serious. He got what he
God, that
deserved,
nigga
man.
worthless.
He called the demon worthless. Like, what's wrong with you? You see, any nigga that's dropping my keys on the ground and opening doors and I'm not doing nothing, like, bro, I'm not gonna say nothing crazy to this nigga, bro.
Yeah, I'm not finna be
yeah.
around that nigga. Like, why am I there? Like,
So another thing that I feel like viewers might might dislike about this movie is that there were some parts that were a little bit miraculous, which is to say that the shit that they made happen or whatever else in the movie, even given the context of the demon, um, were like kind of like how, right?
Like
So
what?
one thing is they're moving into this house. It's a new home. Okay, so they've never lived here. None of their families ever lived there. Okay, This obviously to anybody listening or whatever, I think this is expounded upon in later films. One of them including the prequel, right? Because apparently there's something larger going on than just these two and this demon. Okay, but for our sake, right? You're just watching this movie cold, and we have the scene where all that shit happens. It's like almost like they heard it and it slammed the door or whatever. They investigate and then they find in the attic there's a picture
Picture.
of Katie when she was a little girl at her old house that was supposed to have been burned to the ground completely, including that picture. So you're
Right.
telling me not only does the demon follow her, but he's also like physically carrying that picture to any place that he knows she's gonna be somehow. Like that to me was like super miraculous. Like it's one thing if it's like kind of like is it Insidious or was it Sinister where they go and they find like all the tapes and shit like that,
That's
right?
sinister.
That's Sinister, right? And
Should
that
have
makes sense.
recommended that.
Yeah, well, that's one we're definitely gonna watch again. I think it's scarier than this, but
Yeah.
more than that, that was pretty incredible. And then, at the end, I thought that him getting thrown into the camera was like super forced. It was a jump scare, which did its job, but like, come on now, like throwing him into the camera, like that right there was just like, okay, we need a little last hoopla to really put the cherry on top for this movie. I thought
I mean,
that,
I do
yeah.
like how they set it up. You
Mhm.
know, when they had her get up, like we knew she was possessed. Obviously, she
Mhm.
got up, she walked downstairs, she started screaming. Um, you know, he run down there screaming like, "What's going on?" Then the screaming stops. Obviously, something happened to him. Then you hear somebody coming back up the stairs. Before you see anybody, they just like throw him into the camera. I like how they set it up to like
Yeah,
build tension.
yeah.
So I do like how they did it. I'll say that.
Oh, for sure. But I think my favorite might be her getting dragged. Like that scene there
Yeah,
was
that too.
that was definitely like the craziest scene of the whole movie because they're
I
both
think
quiet.
I
She
was
was,
laughing at that shit while I was in here. Did I tell you that, or
yeah,
was that
yeah.
somebody else?
She,
Yeah.
she was sort of like half asleep. So when she got dragged off the bed, she wasn't even fully aware what was happening
What
until like
about
she's, yeah,
the powder shit? Is that this movie, right? Or that's
yeah. It
Yeah.
is the
Paranormal
powder.
Entity? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that nigga big ass footsteps on that powder was insane to me, bro.
So one thing that I realized about the footsteps when I looked at it, I paused. I looked at the shits. Look like hands. Whatever the fuck was walking in there don't even have like human feet, bro. That's definitely a demon. And
Bro,
what's crazy
Yeah.
about it too is that it walked in the room, but there was no footsteps
It
going
didn't
out
walk
of the
up.
room. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that might have been like a moment of possession.
She had a thing too, Luna, that she said like at one point she was like she feel it and it doesn't feel like a thing. I mean, it doesn't feel like a human or a person. She's like it feels like a monster. So
Mm.
she kind of said that where it's not actually like a person type of shit. It actually is like a monster that I feel like is fucking with me type shit.
One
how
concerning
much
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
how much scarier do y'all think it is that it's actually invisible instead of like a fucking monster or a demon? Like you could actually see it. Like I think that invisibility made it even like way
Yeah,
more scary at the time.
Yeah,
facts.
generally with scary movies, I feel like when the threat is unseen, but you know it's there, like that's kind of like a really powerful tool
Like
and
that
shit.
bird box shit, right? One that shit invisible.
Right, yeah. And so I feel like one thing that they definitely did good was making this chick like kind of the center of it all because one thing that the ghost nigga said is that, bruh, you're telling me this shit says your name? And like your husband can't even hear when it says it. Like he says it only hears noises, but you can hear your actual name. Like this shit is here for
Hmm.
you. One thing he failed to mention was that there might be a chance he's after this nigga, which becomes apparent. They look at the picture in the hallway. Not only is it cracked, but his face is like scratched on, son.
Yeah.
Like that shit hated him, bro. And when he saw
What was that?
Will
I would. I
decided,
mean, you see how he was fucking with that thing.
Nigga
I
trying to leave him
understand
a
why he hate
message
that
though,
nigga.
like that shit foreshadowing, like, hey bitch, when I get my hands on
Yeah, you
you.
bitch ass
yeah,
nigga.
yeah, like I'm gonna use
Do
your
y'all
bitch
think
to
that was
kill
a good?
you.
Hey, that was a good tactic too. The last, he got him down them stairs and threw his ass into a can. That was a good tactic.
Well,
Yeah.
she went downstairs or whatever else, right? And yelled Mika, right? But I don't even think
Yeah,
that was her yelling for help. I feel like that
yeah, it
was the
wasn't.
demon possessing her, screaming
Yeah,
Mika
it
because that was
was.
the one that it wanted to kill.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
And I
it
will
got
say
her.
too, Mika definitely a brave ass nigga. I sometimes think about being at the top floor of my home and hearing like somebody break in and enter. There's some anticipation there. There's some anxiety.
Yeah,
Like, who the fuck is in here right now? You know, you don't know what they got. You don't know what they about to do. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go and
Yeah.
address it. Every time some shit popped off, the door slammed and you heard footsteps, some huge slams, whatever.
nigga
This
got
nigga
up
went
with a
out
bat.
there. He got up. He went out
With a
there.
flashlight too.
Yeah,
Nothing but a flashlight.
like show yourself, nigga. He thought he was the nigga from Outlast. Like, just show yourself, bro.
Hey, what about the scene? So that shit happened, and then she got out of bed. She walked downstairs. She went outside, and she was just sitting in the
Insane.
swing and shit. What about that?
That
I
shit
thought that was
scared
Insane.
the
cold.
fuck out of me.
That scene was
Fucking
cold, bro.
insane, bro. It's too cold out there. That bitch talking about I don't want to go in the house. He a real nigga, bro.
He
That
should have
nigga,
knew that wasn't her. He should have knew right there.
that nigga he went to go get like some blankets. So him and his bitch was gonna spend the whole night out there, bro. Like he a real nigga. He a goofy, but I can't lie. He a real nigga though.
Nah, he
Nigga
cared
ran
about
back
that bitch,
upstairs. The
bro.
TV had static on it and shit, and he see her turned around like right there. Like, come on, bro. You know
That's
something wrong.
That's wild, bro.
That bitch said, "What are you doing?" He said, "What am I doing? What the fuck are you doing?"
She said you woke me up.
That bitch is tripping, bro. And why
What
you
a
got
nerd.
You woke me up.
this little bitty ass TV in their room, man?
Yeah,
It was
nah.
2007, man.
I don't give a fuck.
Cut him some
Baby
slack, man.
ass TV.
That shit was over 15 years ago, man. That's crazy.
Man, they're crazy. But yeah, that shit pretty funny. There was a couple of good moments. I mean, yo, when he came into the crib the second time, the doctor nigga, and he was just like, yeah, I gotta go, son. I gotta go. Like,
Nigga got the fuck up out of there.
he's
Yeah.
like,
Hey, you know what's
can't
crazy? He said something when he got there. He was like, that demon didn't want him to be there or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, he
like
don't
he
like
felt
that
like,
I'm here.
yeah, he's like, I can tell that I'm not welcome here, son. Like,
Yeah.
these extra sensory niggas or whatever else, if they do exist and shit like that, bro, I'm sorry, that shit must be a curse. Every time you walk into a building, somebody crib or whatever else, and there's some spirits in there, you gotta feel that shit.
That
I
shit
might
a
have,
gift, low key.
bro, I might have been in some crib and like there might be some evil spot. I never got a sense of that shit, bro.
Exactly. He already know. Oh yeah, let me get out of here. As soon as he walk in
Yeah,
the
I
door.
can't be in here, nigga.
Yeah, like, bro, I gotta go. I can't help you. I'm sorry. The demon nigga will be back in 3 days. Just live until then. Like,
That nigga already told you what you supposed to do, and you didn't do none of it. Like you actually did the opposite. And didn't
like,
he tell him like it's the dude you gotta call? And nigga Miko was like, I ain't calling that nigga, bro.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was telling his wife not to call.
Goofy.
That's why he put the powder shit down too, Puos. That was his idea. He didn't want her to call. He put that powder down there.
Boy, did that shit work. And I would have wanted
And
it
I don't
not
know
to
what he
work.
expected to do. What did he expect to do after he saw that there?
I
What
don't
was
know.
your plan?
I don't know. He wasn't about to beat his bitch if she did that shit behind his back. Even though he kind of a dickhead because he went and got that Ouija board when she said don't do it.
That
Yeah, he
nigga
kept
goofy.
doing all kind of shit he wasn't
Nigga
supposed
was
to be doing.
like,
She kept telling this nigga, bro,
What'd he say? I said I wouldn't buy one. I borrowed it from the
I
neighbor.
borrowed it.
Get your bitch
That's
ass.
crazy, bro. That nigga's a douche, son.
That
Yeah,
hoe caught on fire.
Bro, that's why he deserved what he got, bro, man. I can't feel sorry for him at all.
She was
You was fucking
disrespected to the
around with
fullest.
shit. That's what they say. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, man. You died.
Yeah, like that. You, bro, he insisted, son. Like, and the crazy thing about it too is like, bro, it's just all kinds of shit, bro. Like, even toward the beginning or whatever else, like, look, my keys are in the middle of the floor. How did it get there? Nigga don't know. He not shook. Like, this for so much of this movie, shit was weird, and he just didn't really give a fuck. Like,
He didn't. That's why, like, now he want to get out at the end. Hell nah, nigga, you wanted this. You wanted this to happen.
It's way too late.
You said he told the demon, give us some more action or some shit like that. That's what you wanted.
I'm finna turn up on y'all bitch ass.
Nigga started hearing a
Yeah.
bunch of noises and shit. Like,
A nigga was down there yelling and shit. Like when that chandelier was moving, that nigga I don't know what happened. Like, did that nigga stub his toe or something? Demon was down. Oh, that nigga was doing some shit. I said, hell no.
hell nah, bro.
what
Yo,
up, Roots? What's
What up,
down with
bro?
it?
hey man, I'm sorry. I gotta. I've never been able to really talk to niggas about this fucking movie, but this Mika nigga is a dumbass, my nigga. And he deserved everything he
You a
fucking got.
dickhead, man.
Yeah, he goofy.
First of all, first, let's just address this. That demon was a nigga. Dead
Facts.
ass that
Yeah.
demon was a nigga.
Facts.
Just going around fucking with shit. He see the picture, slash the pic. Yeah, nigga, I'ma fuck you up when I get to you. Dead ass,
And
I'ma
I think it
fuck
was
you up, my
I
nigga.
think it was a woman too, Roots. It was a black woman.
Oh, even
She,
worse.
I don't think it was no
Even
woman.
worse.
hey, Puos,
If it, bro,
the way she got drug
regardless,
out that
that is
bed,
nigga, bro.
I seen some
That
hoes
demon
drag some
is
hoes
pure
like that,
nigga.
bro.
Listen.
I seen
You go. I don't know if y'all ever like witness like a nigga get probably not even bullied, but like somebody continuously fuck with a nigga and he like, all right, bro, chill the fuck out, leave me alone. And then they finally get they fucking ass whooped. That's exactly what this shit was. This nigga putting powder down, like, oh, I'm gonna catch his feet. He fucking yelling down the hall, oh, you're worthless. Nigga, I'm gonna fuck you up when I get to you, I swear to God.
He
And
said
Get
doctor,
some more
mind your
action.
fucking business. Doctor, don't you bring your ass in this crib. Don't try to save these niggas. I'm on this nigga Mika ass. I'm on him. I'm gonna fuck this nigga up because he keep playing with me.
Roots, he scratched that nigga face out on the picture.
He can say, I'm gonna do you way worse than this bitch, I promise you.
bro. Then, but
And
like,
he did.
everybody agrees.
And what's
that nigga
up
was
with this?
asking for
Listen,
help.
bro, I understand love. I'm married. I understand love. The day I find out that my wife has been cursed with the fucking demon since she was 8, divorce papers.
You know what?
I'm out
I
of here.
think.
I love
Hey,
you,
look.
but I'm out. I can't do
Hey,
nothing with
Roots.
that.
Puo said something kind of similar, and I kind of think this might be the difference between white niggas and black niggas, bro. Low key. Cause this nigga didn't care. He wasn't taking it serious. And like what y'all two said, I feel like most niggas would react like y'all. If y'all find out
Of
y'all girl is,
course, because
yeah,
bro,
I
because
think it's
we
because he
we
white, man.
live certain lives to where we have to be suspicious of every fucking thing. We have to. We have to
Yeah.
be suspicious and cautious at all fucking times. This nigga grew up probably in a 2-parent home. Shout out to the 2-parent home niggas, because I grew up in one too, but we were still in the projects. Goddamn. So like this nigga grew up without a care in the fucking world. So he has the wherewithal to be like, worthless demon. Yeah, because you ain't never been punched in your shit before, clearly.
Ain't this why they made Haunted House to show like the black perspective of what black
Yes.
people would do?
Yes,
Yeah.
y'all should do that movie right after this movie, just cause
I
that
thought
shit
about it.
I
is
love that movie.
spot. Listen, bro, that shit
Yeah, I
is
thought
spot
about
the
that shit.
fuck on from the jump. Nigga found out it was a deep. I'm out. Pack all the shit up. We out this bitch.
But he
Hey,
You
can't
Luna, you ever
sell.
seen
understand?
a
You
Haunted House?
can. Fuck that. I'm out.
You ever saw a Haunted House, Luna?
Nah.
Bro, you should watch it, bro.
It's
That shit
it's like
funny.
a
You bugging.
parody of
That shit
this
fire.
movie right here.
Well, I just don't want no demon in my house. Like, it ain't really like, I don't want to be trying to fuck my bitch and I know it's a big ass demon standing over me. Like, I think that's
And he can
I'm
possess
out
that
of
hoe at any
there.
time.
I'm good. You have a nice life. I'm out.
that nigga
Feel
like
me?
just trying to show you shit though. Like, I think he don't give a fuck that Mika talking crazy. He just keep doing little baby shit, like working his way up to like, bro, when I like you think there's some little preschool pranks, but when I
Yeah.
get to your ass, like when I show you on that 28th
It's
day,
over with.
I'm
When I
gonna
show
fuck
you
you
my
up.
full strength, this shit remind me of when Vegeta found out he could go full Saiyan and he go and address that fat android and how he was talking to him and shit. Oh, can he experience fear? That's all this was, bro. He was
Yeah,
rocking that nigga
I
to
agree
sleep
with that.
all the
Yeah,
way up to the okie doke.
Yeah, I
like,
think that that Ouija board was the turning point because I feel like everything after that got more intense.
Slim, that
Before the
nigga
Ouija
put that
board,
You
it wasn't.
dumbass.
he put that
Motherfuckers
bitch on
can't follow
fire,
fucking
bro.
directions. The
Yeah.
doctor said, don't fuck with this nigga. Don't try to talk to him. Because if you try to talk to him, he gonna do more than talk back. And what he do? Go and get an instrument to talk to this nigga. Dumbass.
You think they
But
would
you
have been
heard,
good if he never like if they just tried to ignore it? You think they would have been straight? I
Bro,
think so.
you seen what happened in Haunted House? The demon got pissed off, slapped the cup off the counter, and walked out
Nah,
the
that's
room.
different. That shit a parody. I'm saying because like Katie been dealing with it her whole life and she just
yeah,
ignore it. This nigga kept
Well,
like doing little shit.
and,
I
he was
think they would have
and
been all
antagonizing.
right.
not to really like try to spoil for anybody that hasn't watched this entire series, because I have up until like the last one, I think it was. But
I'm gonna tell you why
this
you
shit was
can't do what you
destined to
about to
happen.
do. You can't do
This
that
shit was
because they writing these second movies after the first one. They writing the sequels after. Like they didn't already have that shit.
Yeah, so they made it
planned.
work like that
Yeah,
afterwards.
they drew that shit up.
But
like
even still, I'm just talking about the story in itself. Like this was destined to happen. So no, there wasn't shit they could do. The only thing Michael could do is pack his bags and get the fuck on.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but see,
Because they wasn't
if he,
after that nigga. They was after her.
but so if we only go off this first movie, I'll say if he wasn't like he obviously he wasn't listening to that bitch at all. She's the one with the experience with this demon, bro. If he wasn't antagonizing it and fucking with it and trying to make a spectacle of the shit, then maybe it wouldn't have been as bad as it was.
You
I
know
think
what's
the demon
crazy
did
though?
hate him Puos by the end, like you said.
It probably
It hated
did,
that.
but what's crazy is now that I think about it, all of these, well, of course they all go the same way, but they all are fucking with it. Like even on the second one, like they got like cameras all over their house. The nigga keep going back, looking on the camera like, oh, this shit just happened to move, bro. Ignore it, nigga. On the third one, the nigga had like a home camera doing the same shit. Hey, man, you noticed this shit the other day? Bro, just ignore that shit, bro. You'll be all right if you ignore it, bro. Just leave it alone, my nigga. You ain't see it, bro. It didn't happen. That whole baby Freddy Krueger, nigga. If you don't believe it, it didn't happen, nigga. That shit ain't real. But they keep fucking with it. They just gotta leave that shit alone. Or just leave a bitch. Like simple. I'm out of there. I done left a bitch for less than that. Way less. Like,
Yeah,
nigga.
that's definitely. But that's why I think it's because he's white, bro.
And that hoe
I
got
don't
some
think
titties on
like
her
you
too,
said
Slim.
black. You said what?
The hoe got some titties on her too, so that probably was hard for that nigga to get
Katie.
real. Yeah.
I'd knock down Katie
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I think I like Katie a little
Oh,
bit.
got some titties on her, boy.
She fire. She annoying, but she fire.
She really
You
nice
think she
too.
was
Like
annoying?
She possessed, but she fire.
she nice, bro. Like, cause like any bitch I fuck with would have been like, nigga, if you don't put that camera the fuck down,
Yeah, this
like
nigga was tripping, bro.
that nigga, she called that nigga name for that spider. That nigga grabbed the camera first. Like, nigga, if you don't go help her, nigga,
That's
fuck the
so
camera.
true,
Weird
bro.
ass
He
nigga.
grabbed the fucking your wife is yelling, nigga. Yo, fiance,
For
whatever.
2020,
She's screaming. Something's wrong, and you went and grabbed the camera
Yeah,
first.
bro. My bitch would have been
bro,
like, you taking this hobby too
this movie
serious.
is foreshadowing for everything that motherfuckers been doing for the last 10 years of
Hey,
just
hey,
the let me get it on camera type shit.
hey, Roots,
Fire.
man. Let
That
me
was a
say this.
great point. That was crazy.
Look, Puss, let me say this, man. So, if we take this out of the context of what this film was about, bro, just imagine like a nigga in the house and his wife downstairs yelling, and he grab a camera, he run down there, she getting attacked by a nigga, bro. Like you see how crazy that is? You hear your wife yelling and you
Bro,
grab the camera?
even if you put the camera down and whoop that nigga ass, is she real? You out of there.
My brother, you
Cause
grab
why
the
the fuck
camera
you
down there
come
to go
running
capture
downstairs with
some
a
shit.
fucking camera?
Yeah, she's screaming and you trying to capture some art on video, nigga. What's wrong with
I
you?
got a
Goofy ass,
question.
bro. This nigga goofy as hell.
Mr. Rich Man, why don't you just put cameras everywhere in your house instead of using a fucking handheld video camera? Like, what's wrong with that nigga?
Camcorder and shit.
Yeah, nigga. You what? It was
Yeah, I
2007.
think he
Like,
just wanted to be
That's
a
a really
filmmaker,
good
bro.
point. I
I
don't
think he just
even know
wanted to
that.
be a filmmaker.
I think that shit
Did he
pretty stupid.
explicitly say that? Because he gave her a really like shitty ass answer when she was asking. He basically said something like, "Well, if things do happen, then we'll have it on camera." It's like, yeah, and like it's you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, then
like
what?
You know
I
what I'm saying?
think, but seeing as this wasn't really written script wise, I think that's the
yeah.
best you can do with that in 2007.
Fair enough, but at the very least, I think honestly he just got the camera as kind of like a petty move, like, oh, so you're convinced there's these spirits? Okay, well we're gonna grab a camera
Yeah,
and we're
he
gonna
didn't
see
believe it.
some spirits.
He didn't
Yeah, he
believe
didn't
it.
believe that shit for a while in the movie too. He didn't believe it, so I feel like that's the reason why the camera was a thing.
I
But
don't know,
I think
bro.
in later Paranormal Activities, the house cams that becomes a thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. In the
yeah.
second one, the house
They
camera thing.
and like in the third one, they use cameras on like every fucking thing. Like there's like a laptop at some point that they're using as like the view a lot during that
That's
one
the
too.
fourth one.
Oh, the fourth one. Okay.
Yeah, the third one they go back in time when Katie and her sister like 8 years old and shit.
That oh
I
yeah.
remember that.
I'm really interested in watching the other parts of the series and shit. I'm gonna give it a try at some point. But
Let's do it, nigga. Crash course,
Yo,
paranormal
Pulse,
activity. What up, bro?
Crash Course Paranormal
have you
Activity, you're
ever
down?
watched
Yeah,
these
I'm
in
with it.
chronological order?
Yeah, bro. I used to
Does
watch
it
these hoes all the time.
hit different if you watch it in chronological order? Because
Oh,
I never have. That's why
chronological?
I'm
No,
asking.
hell no. My bad. No, I never done it like that. But I
Oh, okay.
watched,
I think
nigga.
we should do that.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like the
I don't know.
scariest
Some
shit
things.
ever. I
Yeah.
watched. I was like in 12th grade. I watched this shit, the second one, then Paranormal Entity. Like all in one night, it was raining, like
Yeah,
dark as
you
hell in the
tweaking.
crib. Watched all that shit back to back. I'd never do that shit. Nigga, I went outside, I started seeing shit and hearing shit. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
That's exactly how I go.
Yep.
That's
That's
exactly
what
how
my
it go.
look. Partner was like, I told your ass watching all that scary shit at night, nigga. I told you. Like, I'd never do that shit again, nigga. That
Some
shit
shit was gonna drag Pujols down the street by his
bro.
shoes, nigga. By
I'm
his Jordan.
hearing shit like we in the whipping shit. I hear something like knock on the window. I'm like, bro, y'all didn't hear that shit, bro. Niggas like, nah, you tripping, bro.
This nigga heard a
Come
pebble
on.
kick up from the ground while they was driving and like damn near shit himself.
I'm in the back seat, like, y'all don't hear that shit, bro. Like, nah, bro, you tripping, bro. Like, all right, bro, whatever. For never did that shit again.
Hell no. The like I said, I didn't watch. I think maybe like the last one or last two, but like I think this is probably in my top 5 of horror series. Scream is
That's
definitely up there. Of course, it gotta be. But
oh man.
this, because of what they did with this shit, and then the no script shit, I didn't know that. So that's actually super fucking fire.
I didn't know that either.
That puts this specific movie up so much higher for me, just personally. But like,
So
do y'all remember how this shit hit like back in the day? Like this shit was
it was up there.
Amazing.
It was
yeah,
crazy.
This
that's
shit,
something I wanted
bro,
to
this movie
actually point
shook
out
shit
too.
back in the day.
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
This is one of those movies that I think like kind of revolutionized like the use of fucking
For
sound
sure.
and like nothing happening. Like literally, the scariest part of this movie is like waiting for something to happen, and I think that's a really good like device, bro. And I remember watching something similar, the Amityville Haunting or Horror, right? That
was
one.
crazy.
That one was a little bit more in your face, I think, with the scary shit, especially toward the end. But a lot of it used kind of the similar shit, like kind of weird shit happening, like the dog freaking out because something's off in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't
The
Slim
little
Man's in that
I
movie?
wanna real
Ryan
quick.
Reynolds.
I want to speak more. I want to speak more towards like the cultural impact that this movie did. Because 2007, I was in middle school. I was in the 7th grade.
Facts.
I remember prior to that, niggas talking about like Tales of the Hood, like the Leprechaun shit. Freddy versus Jason hit crazy whenever it came out. You know, shit like that. But there was, and that was just like amongst the niggas. Like niggas would talk about that shit, you know, in school and shit. When this shit came out, especially when it went to DVD, everybody was talking about this shit, bro. Everybody.
Yeah.
You was not a cool nigga if you ain't come to school talking about Paranormal Activity.
Yeah,
That
same
shit
thing
hit
with
really crazy back then.
with Insidious. Insidious had probably one of the best
Facts.
trailers ever.
Cities
When you
was crazy.
when you saw the Insidious
that
trailer,
movie
you
is-
already knew it was different. But then we watched the actual movie or whatever. It's like, I can't jump into the past. One reason I had to watch this movie again was to see if it would still be scary. And I feel like I found myself doing shit that I remember I used to do with this movie, like they're in the room and shit like that. And I'm looking away from the doorway almost subconsciously, like I'm not looking in that darkness, bro. Like
That
something
nigga
will
Luna
pop
was
out.
scared as hell watching this movie.
Not,
Oh, yeah.
no, dead ass, bro. An open door into a dark hallway will make you shit yourself watching this movie.
Look, I'm thinking like, bro, what's up with these? How are they sleeping with this door wide the fuck open, nigga? If you don't close this motherfucker,
Listen, y'all, I'm
Bro,
home.
like
If
an
I'm
open
home
door will
alone,
make you see shit that's not there.
son, if I'm home alone, I know nobody's out in the rest of the crib. I'm still closing my door when I sleep.
facts.
You understand me? Like
Yeah, you
it's
gotta
so
be a psychopath to leave your door open anyway. Like,
Ain't
why
gonna
is it
lie
wide
though,
open?
Slim. Like, I don't really. Okay, I'm gonna just say, I know this girl who she like her shit open, like her door open when she sleep. I'm like, bro, why? And she was like, she said some shit that didn't make no fucking sense to me, but I just went with it. But I'm like, nigga, what? Like that shit don't even make sense.
You know,
Like,
my
damn.
mama,
She
she
might be
likes
a
to sometimes
psychopath.
sleep with the door open and shit because she want
She's
like
subscribed to this
airflow.
hoe too.
She want like air flowing into the room or like concerns like that. And it's like, yeah,
You
what
got
it
a
is. But
vent for that.
yes, I agree. But
That shit crazy.
but nah, I agree. Oh, like this movie definitely scary in part, just like waiting for shit to pop off, bro. And again, I gotta give shouts out to them for the sound design. Like the footsteps, that shit was live. Like that shit was like, I'm anxious now. Like what's about to happen? I don't fuck with this. I don't like this. Oh hell no. Um,
Yeah. Hey,
yeah,
Luna. Also, like you said, y'all watched Blair Witch, and that came out in '99. So I think that's probably one of the early um fucking found footage type movies. So this one came
Yeah.
out in '07, which is like 8 years later.
yeah.
So in
Yeah.
'99, we're young, we're really young. So I think
I was
with
like
this coming
3.
out in '07, it kind of like popularized the found footage shit for like our generation too.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe
It
that's
did.
why it was such a big thing too, because the Blair Witch shit was when we were really young. I didn't even watch it when I was young. I didn't even watch it, the new one either. So
Yeah. None of us,
Paranormal
I
Activity
even
was my
think,
first
probably
introduction to
Tex
this.
is probably the only person on the podcast that could have watched that shit because he was born in
Yeah,
the fucking 80s or some shit, old ass nigga.
he was born
Um,
like 90, 91.
there was a Spanish horror movie, found footage one. I think it's called Wreck. I could be
Oh,
wrong.
that whole go
Hell
crazy.
nah.
Like I never seen
Hell
Wreck. I
nah.
seen Quarantine. It's the same shit.
So Rec
I
to
Oh,
ain't
for
seen
real?
me,
It's the
Quarantine.
same shit?
Yeah, it's the same
so,
shit.
so Rec
That
actually
quarantine
was
shit go
released.
crazy.
Rec was actually released the same year. That is what Quarantine is. It was re-released. It was remade in the United States. Sorry, under the name Quarantine.
Mm.
So Rec was
Okay.
actually released in 2007, Spanish film,
So
and
was Cloverfield. It got released around that time too, 2008.
oh word.
Yeah, found
So
footage was like the wave around this time.
it was
This was the
popping for
big
sure.
thing right here, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. This stood out amongst everything else.
Quarantine might be.
I
I
think
don't know.
second
That shit
is
crazy.
Cloverfield just because of the what's the word, the marketing and branding that it got at the time, because I remember that shit was on every fucking thing. But
Yeah,
as far as like with entertainment factor, it's this, then Quarantine, then Cloverfield, because
Hey,
Quarantine is crazy.
Quarantine might be more entertaining than
Quarantine
this
might
though.
be. Yeah, the only thing about
It might it
Quarantine is
might
that
it might be simply because it's more people involved and it's like more hectic
Quarantine doesn't give you like a false sense of safety during
At
the events.
all.
Like
at
once
all.
you're
No,
in the
that
shit,
once that
like
shit
it
kick
just
off, it
gets
kick off.
No, it's
it
over.
gets worse and worse, and you have to be there for everything. I thought in Paranormal Activity I got breaks, you know? It's daytime. I'm just gonna watch these niggas dick around and little weirdness happen between them. But nighttime is when shit hits the fan. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and
Wreck,
all of that shit
you're
is like
stuck.
within like 2 hours of the start and finish.
Right. And so, but that being said, though, right, again, this movie I think is definitely like scary, but I will say one thing, and I think this applies to a lot of people who might have watched this movie and were critical of it. Some people, they don't have crazy imaginations. Like I know a lot of people who some
That
people who
nigga
watch
talking.
yeah, like some people who watch these kinds of movies, maybe they don't really feel anything when nothing's happening on the screen.
Facts.
Even when they
Facts.
hear the little
Mm,
hum and the bass and stuff, they're just like,
That shit
okay, so
means nothing to them because they can't like they can't they just can't put themselves in that situation. I think that's
right.
a crazy point you just made. Go
because
ahead.
when I
My
was
bad.
reading the critical reviews and shit like that, everybody who had like a unfavorable, like a 3-star or a 2-star, they always make some like a backhanded compliment, like this is a great film that could have been scarier. And I'm just like, well, what wasn't scary about it? That shows me
What are
that
you
those niggas,
watching?
they don't have empathy, bro. For one, put yourself in their shoes. Two, the movie is set in such a way where you are in their shoes because you're literally watching this shit unfold. So I feel like it's just a matter of some niggas just can't connect at a personal level with what's going on. They're watching it and they're waiting for something like The Grudge or something like a monster to emanate from the
Yeah,
shadows and
like a
shit to,
slasher or some shit.
yeah, to validate the horror title that it gets. And so for those people, I'm not going to say that they're wrong. I just think that generally speaking, your opinion of this movie will be very different if suspenseful, like waiting games, like those things don't really do it for you, and you need for there to be like a demon on the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just with
yeah,
the certain elements that, like you spoke of the bass ambiance, that is literally adding a sound to the feeling that is eerie. when you are in the room with something that you can't see, and it's like feeling like you're being watched.
Yeah.
That adding that sound to it, like I remember watching this in my parents' crib, and my dad had just put up like a brand new surround sound system. Like he had the speakers up on the wall, everything crazy, and it was a subwoofer that came with it that sat like right under the TV. That
Right.
bitch going off during these fucking scenes, terrifying, my nigga.
Yeah,
It's
nah.
just bass, and it's not sudden. It rises. You know what I'm saying? It starts real small, and then as the demon or entity, whatever the fuck, gets closer, it just gets louder and louder and more present. That is a
Exactly that.
fire concept and fucking terrifying.
It's good, and I like also that it's a bass line, but it's not like musical or like extremely
At
tonal.
all.
It's just there so you can feel the presence of it. You know what I'm saying? It's unclear whether or not if like say the characters were actually awake, that they were actually hearing it. They did say that they heard like sounds like weird ass like sounds. For Katie, it's obviously speech, but I don't know if the rumbling was for us or for them. That's in the air. But generally
Both.
speaking, maybe, right? And so in that case, like the movie did a really good job with the sound shit. One thing that I do want to address though is the fact of the alternate ending, which I think I saw in the past. This ending is actually new to me. So the version of the movie that I watched in the past, if anybody's not familiar or whatever, the ending is a little bit different. Um,
Mm,
so Katie goes down the stairs and there's a bunch of like I guess like commotion and shit like that, right? The same way as there is in this movie. Um but basically after the screams are done, you hear loud footsteps coming up the stairs, right? But instead of
Mhm.
her coming up and throwing
yes.
bro into the camera, it's just Katie with a big blood stain on her shirt. Okay.
Mhm.
So she sits down and she starts doing the fetal position, and she just kind of does that with like bunches of days. It goes like dark and light, like a
Mhm.
time lapse. It goes for a long ass time, and the phone rings, and she keeps on rocking on the floor. And her friend is like on the voicemail saying, "I haven't heard from you for a while. You know, I want to see you." Da, da, da. And then eventually, the friend comes over, gets into the house, and like screams. You can hear it, right?
Mm,
There's like loud ass knocking after some time passes, and the
And the
police come.
police, yeah.
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 So she goes upstairs. Sorry, the police go upstairs. After you like see the light come on, the police come up or whatever, and they find Katie, and she gets up from this like rocking state or whatever else, and she's holding the knife in her hand, and they just popped her.
Her ass up.
Yeah.
Hey, Luna, they
rightfully
actually had a
so. Shoot that
they had
bitch.
a they had a third alternate ending too.
I'll
It,
talk
it
about
just
it.
never got shot, but it was one that the director liked, and it was just one where she came and she killed the nigga, and she killed herself too with a
Oh,
knife or
okay.
whatever.
They
So they
I
didn't
feel
never
like
actually
that
shoot
would
went
have.
that.
to that
I feel
shit.
like that would have been kind of ass.
Nah.
I
I
don't
thought
think
they
it would have
shot
been
that.
ass. What I won't. So I won't say it would be ass. But one thing that I think they developed, which I think it would kind of be a contradiction to, is the possessiveness of the spirit. I think. Oh, sorry, the
Mm,
demon. The demon made it a kind of a jealousy thing. Toward the end, I think it was becoming very obvious, right? Like, so Katie is like engaged, to this guy or whatever. That's supposed to be her man and shit like that. This demon's been following her for all of her life. That just seems to set up for me that this demon is possessive over her and doesn't want anybody else to. Maybe the demon's responsible for the house
and
burning
and
down.
that's
You know what I mean?
and that's
Like,
exactly what it is. They pretty much
mm,
allude to that in all of them, especially next of kin.
okay,
Whereas the demon is a protector of sorts,
okay,
or in ownership of the person that they're following,
for sure. But the
because of
ownership,
whatever fucking ritual that was done.
right? The ownership though is like of a jealous sort. And so for me, I think if she were to kill herself at the end, it's like, why would the demon destroy that which it covets? You know what I mean? Like
Right,
that's
right.
the thing
That
that
doesn't make
is
sense.
exactly. So in light of that, the ending doesn't even sound bad. I think it's maybe a little cliched. Usually like to resolve like major conflict in a film with like the two main people dying, like one kills himself after they kill the other. That's like a very like I feel like I've seen it before. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how you guys feel about that. I feel like it might be some kind of cliche. I'm trying to think, like, what is a movie where, like, I don't know, there's two niggas that maybe even like in the action, like they're like enemies or whatever, and they both die at the end or something like that.
That sound cliche as hell. I just can't think of no shit right now.
It just sounds like a neat and tidy way to like end a project without leaving questions open. You know what happened to
Hey,
both of them?
Pooh.
They're dead.
What up, yo?
So that the one that you said you thought they shot, they might have shot that one, but I don't know if they shot it or not. But what it was is it was another one that he wanted to do where she killed the nigga like with his camera, and we'll see like it from the camera's point of view or whatever.
Oh,
Like
like
we're
while
looking at his skin.
she's hitting him
But
with
yeah,
it.
they didn't shoot that one.
I
You
feel
know,
like I seen him with that one where she killed herself.
Yeah, they might have shot that one. I saw
I
the
was
one Luna was
obsessed with
talking
these
about
hoes,
though.
bro. Like I used to like watch this all the time. So,
I never heard of that one there. My thing is, was that shot? Because I feel like seeing somebody get beat to death with a camera is something I've seen.
No, that one didn't get shot. The
Are
one
you
where
sure?
yeah, the one with where
Uh,
she killed herself might have
What
got shot.
movie was it where somebody got beat with the camera
that's
and it
quarantine.
quarantine.
Quarantine. He
quarantine?
he
There it
killed
is.
a he
Okay.
killed a rat. He killed a rat with a camera.
Okay, I remember that now. Okay. Yeah, not that one. That one sounds interesting, but again, like you got to think about what this director is trying to convey here. What is the story actually about? It's about like I don't know. I don't really know. It's like the excesses of like obsession or like the excesses of possession, like being too like possessive of somebody or whatever else, or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't really know what they're trying to show us. But
Was
Hey, this was his debut too. The director. This was his first movie that he ever directed.
Damn.
so
was that
what do
was
you
the
what do you guys
demon
think?
passed down like from a ritual or something like that, right?
You you said what?
Was the demon
Yes,
passed down from some type? Oh, okay, ritual.
Yeah,
that's pretty
I'm not
much
sure.
all of them. I don't know if it's the same demon, but this is a regular thing in this family. It's kind of like the what was the movie we fucking watched? What was the fucking movie we watched with the demon
Or
possession and
Hereditary?
shit? Hereditary.
Hereditary.
It's exactly that.
Yeah.
Where the fucking old white people are fucking devil worshippers. It's not as
Mhm.
big of a scale as it is with this, but it's just a continuous
Hereditary
thing.
is I agree. Hereditary, I feel like they gave you so much of that lore. They made it, even though Hereditary is supposed to have, jump scares and moments of terror, they also give you a lot of plot exposition. I mean, they have the lady hanging out with like the older chick or whatever because she could make contact with the
Right.
dead. They
Mhm.
have you learning about some of the lore, like the spirituality behind it. They have, the scene where she goes and she finds the books that like detail or whatever, like the mythological parts of it or whatever, and like the demon. And so they kind of wanted you to know like what exactly the entity was. Here in Paranormal Activity, all we know is that it's a demon and it wants this
Right.
bitch. You know what I'm saying? And that alone kind of I think is good. I don't really need a story to be told to me. Here they just wanted me to see what happens to these niggas and get scared. So, I'm kind of cool with it not really being too well explained.
Hey Slim,
Yep.
I just watched the what the fuck? You all right?
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. Nigga need to be careful.
That's my notifications, bro. That's the first sound of the Ultra Instinct, bro.
Oh, I thought that was a car crash. My bad. But niggas, I just watched all the
What the car
endings and yeah,
crash?
that knife part, they shot that knife shit. I knew I seen that shit.
Yeah. It
Mm,
was the other one, the one with the camera they didn't shoot.
Yeah, that shit crazy. That shit
nah,
crazy that I can remember that shit from fucking 15 years ago.
bro.
Which one is the
I think
original
that I
ending?
think that beat to death with a camera shit would have been fucking fire though.
Original
It
is the
would
one
it
where the
would have been
police shot him.
bullshit like, to the
Yeah,
point where it's like
the original is the
fucking
one with the
plot armor,
police.
but
Yeah, so the one with the police is the one that he wanted to do, but the apparently when they tested it with the audiences, they wasn't really fucking with it like that. So they just gave them niggas some more money to
I
shoot another
think
one.
that's better than her just throwing this nigga into a camera.
I mean, I don't I don't know.
Throwing into the camera and then like the weird look into the camera, I felt like that touch was a little bit, whatever. Like
I
I'm
think it's
creeped
just
out.
to add to the little creepy shit.
Yeah, like I'm creeped out, but I
Yeah.
mean, you already killed him, so what else can you do? Jump at me? That like, what I
And we
mean?
know that you're possessed. You didn't have to show us that last scene where we see her smiling or whatever the fuck she was doing.
I
Like, we
guess
know you're
that's just
possessed.
like
The only thing that I will say is that on the account of the recording at the end where they show you the text says that her whereabouts are unknown. What
Yeah.
that might indicate on the part of the director is a desire to leave seeds for future projects. So maybe it's
Yeah.
the case that
which they
yeah.
use that shit. They use that shit
Yeah.
for the
Makes sense.
future ones too.
right.
And this
So
is the only one that
yeah.
he directed. He didn't direct the other ones.
Ass.
Damn, he direct the second one?
Just this one.
But that's
Wow.
insane. So he didn't direct the following ones. They just continued with the shits.
They continue
That
with his
nigga
story.
probably was straight.
That
With
nigga
as
probably
good
was.
this being your first fucking movie and it doing
Oh,
this
yeah.
good, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
I win.
Look.
I beat the game.
He definitely beat the game because they probably didn't even spend them. What do you think they spent on this bullshit?
I'll tell you right now. They spent
Some
$15,000.
bullshit.
15,000.
And they made
15,000 for this shit.
194.2
Oh,
million.
he's good.
I could have
Hey,
made.
I
Luno,
wouldn't be
this.
surprised if he's
Hey,
never
Luno,
directed anything ever again.
Hey, that's what makes this. This is the
That's
second
a
most
lick,
profitable movie ever made in terms of ROI.
nigga. That's
insane.
a lick.
I don't even know if they spent
You flipped
15,000 on.
15,000 to
15?
how much?
They spent 15 puos.
Does that go
But,
into what you paying the actors?
So the actors didn't get paid shit, bro. At first,
What?
they got paid $500 for this movie,
Ah, nah.
but they renegotiated the shit afterwards.
The back end is crazy though.
They had to
You
renegotiate.
have to believe that the back end
negotiate shit,
of
though.
that is crazy.
No, they
signed that
didn't
line,
have
nigga.
to. Yeah, you don't have to, but I think they just did.
Oh,
they
just because they fuck
renegotiated.
with them. Okay, that's real
Yeah.
nigga shit.
The two actors only made $500 when they shot this shit. Roots.
But Katie been in like every other movie damn near, so she probably.
That's a
came
fact.
up
Oh yeah,
some
she
more.
made some bread off this.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other movie, the only movie that made more money than this is that first Blair Witch movie.
Ass.
That's crazy.
Them
I
the
ain't
two
like that
most
hoe, bro.
profitable. They the two most profitable movies ever made in terms of return on investment.
This shit smoking Blair Witch.
It
Oh,
is
absolutely.
definitely 100%.
I hate that movie.
I
Shout
ain't
out
gonna
low
lie,
budget
like
movies, man.
they copy and paste the shit out this motherfucker, like from using the ending, not even the rest of the shit, like the shooting style or whatever the fuck, but like the using the creepy shit, like that shit was copy and paste, and then they did it again and again like 6 more times with the next few Paranormal Activity. Like that's
To give
kind of
you
crazy.
guys some context, man, I mean, this movie cost $15,000 even, right? If let's say that they just made like their exact budget, so they would have basically made nothing there. But let's say they made their exact budget back, so they just get their money back, yo. This movie did so well, they could have made this movie 12,000 times, bro.
Yeah, because you gotta realize in Hollywood, bro, 15,000 ain't shit.
Every movie
They don't
costs
they
like
don't
a
make
million.
15,000. They don't make $15,000 movies, bro. That's low budget as hell.
Yeah, that's like us making a movie, bro.
Yeah,
That's not even
real
us
shit.
making a movie.
It's not because I ain't got 15,000 to put into a movie.
I'm
But
saying
I
if
ain't
we
got
all
a portion of 15,000.
if we all put that money in, that's like
That's
us
a
making
fact.
a movie, bro.
That's a
Look,
fact.
man, I don't know what our return on investment is gonna be. We're
Oh,
gonna
it
have
ain't gonna
to.
be shit.
I hope it would be $192 million,
Nigga, we gonna
nigga.
make some
The
shit
only
like
thing I'll
Thanksgiving.
say,
Fuck out of here.
only thing I
How
will
much did
say is
Thanksgiving
that
probably made some shit for?
Nigga, I'll be surprised if we make half our money back.
Nigga, Thanksgiving probably costs more to make than this shit.
Maybe.
bro, with the computers nowadays, bro, you could probably do a lot from just like a camera. Like,
Yeah, all you need is skill. Honestly, if you got skills, you can make some good shit.
yeah, if you're able to do the editing shit, you can
Hey,
make.
fools, they shot
Man,
Thanksgiving on a $3,500 budget, nigga.
Damn, that's it. I can make that hoe by myself.
Thanks, killing, huh? Let me see this shit.
Thanksgiving 3 had a budget of $112,000.
I can't do nothing with that.
That's crazy.
Hey, if they had that times like 4 or 5 or whatever the fuck, They could have possibly had Paranormal Activity.
They
But
spent
that's
100,000 on
that gotta
Paranormal
be return on
on 3.
investment because if you go from 35 to 100,000, nigga, they
Now,
had to make
now
some money
they
off
use the Kickstarter campaign, you know, like the GoFundMe shit.
that. Damn,
They
niggas
use
wanted
one
to
of them.
see Thanksgiving that bad.
Thanksgiving 3.
Insane. I gotta watch the second one. Like, what the fuck happened on the second one to make niggas want to watch a third one?
You actually don't have to watch any of them.
That whole came out on DVD in 2009.
No, we watching next Thanksgiving.
Oh fuck no.
This shit say they don't even got a Thanksgiving 2 as of last year.
Get out of here,
bro.
What do you mean they don't have a 2?
If they skip straight to 3, that's funny as fuck.
No way.
No, it says as of last year.
What does that mean?
That mean that shit was so bad that it got taken off the internet.
That's
no, bro.
You can't. Hold on, nigga. Ain't no way.
So Thanksgiving, I can't find how much they made from
it. It just say how much
they ain't make shit.
was.
Yeah,
Budget
I
was
really feel like they
3,500.
didn't make anything, bro.
That whole got released on DVD though.
This shit say Thanksgiving 3. No, I'm not missing 1 or 2, as the case may be. That's like the the shit they put next to the title of a movie. That's what it says.
Yeah.
Stupid as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
Man, anybody got anything else?
Nope.
Nah, who else? When I search Thanksgiving 2 on IMDb, that shit don't even come up.
It ain't real, bro. It's not. I think they skipped it.
They definitely skipped to 3.
Niggas pissing me off, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know. No, I ain't got nothing else, Luna.
All right, bet. If you guys are down, we could just get into these ratings one time.
Where did Art got the next movie? Where the fuck he at?
Yeah, Art didn't even pull up, but I have his movie. Are we going with his movie?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, sure.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that nigga asked you for a sound check like an hour before the show and didn't pull up?
Dang.
Knowing him, he probably fell asleep.
That nigga.
He definitely came in here and did a
really
sound check and
45,
everything, bro.
Art is really 45. I figured it out.
Did a sound check and didn't show up.
The nigga did a sound check. He was like, "All right, so I'm a talk on the podcast like this." Then he left, and I guess he might have fell asleep. He sent me a message saying he was gonna be late, but he was gonna pull up still.
Oh yeah, he fell asleep.
Fuck it. Yeah, just say his movie whenever we ready, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, he told me 20 minutes before the podcast. He said, "I'm gonna be late, but don't wait for me. I'm gonna pull up."
It's gonna be some black ass shit. I can tell.
We got a classic on our hands, fool.
He wouldn't do the Wiz. He wouldn't do that. I won't watch that ever.
He said the Wiz.
I wish one of you. I'm finna start shitting on you niggas' movies, man, because some of that shit deserve it. I'll be being real nice, man.
Why? KTL ain't nice to you.
It ain't about a nigga being nice to me. I don't give a fuck about
it.
Make it like to go
I'm
out
just saying,
my way.
bro. Keep that same energy niggas be having for your shit.
It's like I said, I don't care that niggas don't fuck with some of my shit. It's just like some niggas be picking some ass shit, and I be letting them make it, bro.
Call it ass, man.
I do.
I don't think you're gonna say this ass though.
Let's do the ratings, man.
You probably
That
saw
nigga
it
might have
before
been.
already. All right, go ahead, man. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Roots, are you rating the movie? Cause you here.
What the fuck? This nigga Roots here?
Sure.
He said
Nigga,
this
what?
nigga Roots here.
What?
Nigga, what are you doing here?
This nigga funny,
Look, bro, I'm out delivering food and shit, and I really fuck with this movie. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna pull up.
Do you need help?
What the fuck is happening? Black
Hey,
Roots is on this
after-
podcast.
Roots, after an hour, this nigga said Roots here? After an hour of talking to you.
Bro, we've literally spoke directly to each other
Nigga,
during
I
the
thought you
last
was on
hour.
vacation.
I mean, I was gonna say sometimes niggas stop by the job, but niggas don't do that shit at all.
Man, hey man, it don't matter. All right, salute to you.
Hey, but I'm a go last though. I'm gonna go last.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I'll go first.
Right.
So I saw this movie back in the day. Maybe when it first came out. I can't remember when actually I watched it. But this is probably my first time seeing it since back then. So this movie don't really hit for me the same way because it's like I kind of knew everything that was gonna happen, so it was no surprise or anything to me. Um, I do like how they did things, mostly in the last 30 to 45 minutes. I still appreciate that. Uh, but the movie as a whole, I think it's still a good movie. Like it's cool, but it don't hit the same for me as it would have the first time that I watched it. So I'm guessing that might be law of diminishing returns, maybe. But I give this movie a 7.7.
Hmm. Can I ask you what you would have gave it when you was like fucking however old you was the first time you seen it?
It would have been higher because I remember it being fire, but I don't know what I would have gave it. I just know the second time watching it, it's definitely lower. I know because I kind of knew what was going to happen. It wasn't nothing that really caught me off guard. It was nothing that really was surprising to me because I knew the whole story. I knew everything that was going to
Mm-hmm.
happen. So I just appreciate some of the shit they did towards the end. So I still I like the movie for what they did, like the second half of it. Kind of like the first part, like what Luna was saying for the first half, it wasn't really much going on. So
Dope.
yeah, Luno, Puos, either one of y'all want to go?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I feel like it's actually kind of better than I remember it. I definitely scared of the shit before, but I didn't really catch a lot of the inventiveness of what they were doing. So this time around when I watched it, like I did definitely like noticed like, damn, that shit really do sound like somebody coming up the fucking stairs. Like, bro, like if I was in this situation, that would be creepy the way they made it look. Like, so some of that shit was actually kind of hitting the. I felt like, definitely nervous as shit, anxious during a lot of the scenes and shit. Particularly the night scenes. I felt like I like that they gave you just enough details to really follow in what's going on, like without doing too much. You know, I feel like this shit's way better than like Blair Witch or whatever else. I feel like you're definitely looking at some footage, but there's something a little bit more like intimate about it. Like I feel like with Blair Witch, it was kind of like the shit was shaking or out of focus, and you're just hearing shit, and it's not that scary. But here, like I'm watching some wild ass shit unfold, bro. And a white nigga do really dumbass shit. Um, but yeah, that shit was pretty fire, man. It's I don't know if I'll call it a top 5 all time of my horrors. I think a lot of shit is done really well, but there's some crazy ass horror films out there that are kind of fire as both horrors and just movies in general. I think Paranormal Activity did a really good job as a horror film, but it is like a low budget found footage kind of joint, so it's don't have nearly as much going on as like proper AAA kind of movies where everything on point, graphics, cinematography, acting, like everything is just like a crazy ass production, $100 million production, even though they made that. um Look, man, I gave this Paranormal Activity joint 7.3. It is a really dope movie and shit. I enjoyed it. It's definitely really scary, but I can't like invent points because movies definitely gonna need a little bit more than that much money to really create a a convincing banger. But that's
How'd
all
you
I
feel
got.
about Blair Witch?
I thought
Because I
that
don't
Blair
know
Witch.
how y'all rated it.
So the original Blair Witch, I don't think I gave it anywhere near this rating. I gave it a low rating. I think I gave it a
Okay.
5. Hindsight, but the reason why is because Blair Witch does not really do a good job at true immersion. At the time I could see it convincing people, especially if they're going around saying this is like real found footage, but
Yeah.
generally like that shit is just, you know you're not really seeing much going on. The sounds is not that great, not even easy to hear, for real. A lot of the scariest shit was like rocks falling, like and it takes like basically, yeah, like it
Yeah,
takes
that's
the whole
crazy.
movie. It takes the whole movie
No,
to
dead
really.
ass. It's like kids laughing and rocks falling, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. And so it took the whole movie for anything to pop off. No, this movie had a lot of moments. And what's funny too, I gave it some flack for not a lot going on toward the beginning, but the movie does have like an air to it where like even in the beginning when you know shit is good, like you're almost sitting there like, oh god, when's shit about to go left? Like it almost has you
Right.
kind of anticipating that shit anyway, even in the first few nights, which I mean is still well done. So but that's about it.
Okay. Who else?
I great movie, man. Like I said, I used the word obsessed, but that's cap. I ain't never been obsessed with shit. I used to like these movies a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? A new one come out, make sure I watch that shit every time. I used to watch that shit with women and shit all the time. Like I said, a nigga watch that shit all back to back to back. It got Paranormal Activity 3, I believe, got one of the scariest moments I ever seen in my fucking life in it. So
Which one? Wait, hold on. What moment you talking about?
I explained this like I think on one of the episodes before, but when that nigga was searching through the house and he turned on the light and all them old ass white people was looking at him through that window,
Facts. Bro, I don't
fucking
know why, but I
terrifying.
kept thinking of that while talking about this movie, just because that's one of the scariest shits I think in all of this
Yeah,
whole
that shit
series of movies.
terrifying,
That
nigga.
shit is fucking, bro. Just imagine turning on a fucking light and it's a bunch of old white people just staring at you.
Scary as a
That's
motherfucker.
terrifying.
But
I
yeah though. So
no.
look, I fuck with what Luno and Roots was saying. I gotta like shout them niggas out. That nigga Roots said like the way Mika bring the camera around to see like no matter the severity of the situation, the nigga still bring the camera. And that reflects today's society. That was a fucking crazy point. I didn't even think of that. That was insane. Like that shit was ahead of its time. We didn't even know shit was gonna be like that. Insane point. That was fire. The way
Appreciate
Luno
that.
was saying, no problem. What that nigga Luno was saying, like the sounds and people who are rate the movie low, like they don't got no imagination, really insane. Cause I feel that way. If you can't picture like something being there that's not there, that's fucking with you, then of course you're not going to watch it. If you need a visual, if you need to see some type of Jeepers Creepers type monster to give you that, to scare you, then hell nah, you ain't gonna like this shit. So that made perfect sense. Like, cause you own like niggas done lived somewhere before, and like niggas got like the management. They of course they got keys to your shit, and occasionally they might do checks or whatever the fuck they do. Like you'll put something somewhere, and you be like, "Hold on, nigga, I know this shit wasn't right here when I left," and you get to see that shit happen to them it live, and you watching it back like, "Oh nah, there ain't nobody been in here, nigga. This shit happening by itself." That shit is
Right.
really crazy. Like especially in 2007. That shit is insane. And
Or
like to end this shit, when when a nigga walk in and say, bro, negativity like triggers it and trying to talk to it trigger it. And you see just the progression of them doing that shit. Well, not them, Mika doing that shit continuously, and he keep doing stupid shit to set her off. She go from like a loving girlfriend to saying, nigga, get the fuck out the room. Like, and that nigga just the demon
Mm-hmm.
just get more lit, more lit, more lit. Like that shit was impressive to me. Also,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fact.
shit was crazy, bro. So saying all that shit. Also, one last thing. I apologize. I love this. I've seen this movie a million times. So this shit is like what kickstarted me to liking found footage. So if you like this shit, go watch VHS. Like the first VHS. That shit is crazy, nigga. Found foot. That shit insane, bro. Just go watch that. I had to shout out VHS, but yeah, though I
Hey,
love this
Puos,
movie.
before you get your rating,
Yeah,
I want to say this because you brought up a good point, and I know we mentioned earlier about how the Ouija board that's where the shit started to turn left right there.
yeah,
Like it started to turn up. I think it's also what you said about the shit with the negativity because that's when the negativity was really going crazy
yeah.
too because she was getting pissed at this nigga, and I think that might have a lot to do with the demon turning up too, since he
Exactly,
feeds off
bro.
negativity.
More pissed every day, bro. And
Yeah,
somebody named fucking Kelly Race said, "Hi, I don't know who that is. Salute to you, Kelly Race."
shout out Kelly, man.
But yeah, if I was to give this shit like when I first seen it, that should probably be like a 10, but I ain't doing that. So I'm gonna give it an 8.8, bro.
Okay. Roots.
Fire. I wanted to speak on something that because you talked about the comparison I made to how life is now with these, I won't even just say kids, but just people in general, like bringing the camera around and shit. But I feel like they also kind of made a point, and I don't know if they did this on purpose or not, but I don't know anybody that's ever been in like or anybody in here that's ever been in a serious relationship with somebody that they living with. But the whole concept of the demon feeding off of negativity, if you've ever like gone through some shit, like, I don't know, like some financial struggle or some shit while you're with somebody, anybody knows that during like a tough time, something that it don't even have to necessarily do with the confines of your relationship, any negativity within the relationship makes that shit 10 times worse to deal with. And I think they, like I said, I don't think they did that on purpose, but I think that's a very good point of something to kind of point out and just keep in mind with, just dealing with people in relationships. Like, I know, being married and shit, like I've dealt with that where we're dealing with shit that's outside of our relationship, but it's taking a toll on our relationship. And, it feeds off of the negativity between us. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted that to put that little tidbit of info out there. Other than that, I didn't watch this with y'all because I've seen this movie so many fucking times. I know everything that happens in this fucking movie. Like I said, this shit was super fucking lit when it came out. What's up? Kelly said, I dealt with shit the night I moved into the new apartment. My brother died. Why? Sorry.
What the fuck?
She said it was
the
haunted.
new apartment. What'd you say, son?
She said the apartment was haunted.
Bro, she just told us some
Nah.
crazy shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, nah,
Damn.
that's some crazy ass shit, yo. Like,
Maybe you could type in the chat or just let us know like what you seen.
rest in peace to your brother, real shit.
No,
But
real
like, that's
shit.
crazy as fuck.
And
That
we
that
got
ass, yeah.
that
I
story.
was gonna say
I
like,
would like to hear that story too, for sure.
yeah. Just tell us a little bit about that if you don't mind. We ghost enthusiasts in this
Yeah, I
podcast.
don't want to hear it. So I'm out of here.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I'm good.
No worries, thank you though.
Damn, why Siri spoke?
Yeah, my fault. But yeah, this movie was lit as fuck when it first came out, and like I watched it a lot. I think the last time that I watched it, I was in Augusta in AIT training or whatever the fuck for the military, and I ended up watching this shit with my roommates just because, if anybody that's listening, if you've been in the military and you had to go to AIT, you know that the rooms are set up to where it's one room and it's you and two other people in that motherfucker, and that's how y'all live. But we ended up watching this shit together, and I think it made it better for me a little bit just because it's just a certain type of anxiety that comes with watching these fucking movies, especially if you're watching it in the dark by yourself. Like, this shit get crazy, and then as the movies go on, like each movie get crazier. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I have this series being in like my top 5, just because you shouldn't be able to recreate this. This should be like a one and done thing, but they definitely was able to do that. But just with them taking that little bits and pieces of Blair Witch and making this with $15,000, and that flip is super crazy to me. So this movie will always be like like super up there for me. That being said, I gotta get this like an 8.5.
All right. With that being said, the final score for Paranormal Activity is a 8.0 flat. So good shit, Luna. Let me type that in the chat real quick. Oh man, y'all must be ready for this next pick.
Almost definitely. Where's Art?
I was eating some pizza
killing
and shit,
niggas,
bro.
huh?
Hey, look in the private chat.
I seen that.
The
Sure.
thing
That was
is,
that was a
people
few
talk
movies ago,
crazy.
Pulos.
People
Facts.
talk crazy about arts movies, and I've seen some wild shit in arts movies, but I always be like entertained or like paying attention. So you
Facts.
know what? I'm not even mad. Like, let's go, man.
Art, my favorite person. Pause.
Yeah, you
Like you're a
said
movie
he got one of
stick.
your
Crazy.
favorite picks, right?
Yeah, it ain't even really about like the ratings and shit. He just get the best, like his movies just get the best conversations every time. So that's why he like my favorite nigga. Pause.
Definitely. I
All
don't
right,
know.
Roots. What
Tales
about
of the
you,
Hood.
Roy?
I
Roots.
don't know.
I call this nigga Roy.
What did you almost call me?
Roy.
Roy. Who Roy?
That's the whitest name I've ever heard.
Black Roy, nigga.
Roy Rice, man.
Black
Black Roy
Roy.
is insane.
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy
What's your
definitely
opinion
has a
on?
job that he hates.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
what
Roots.
on
What's
like
your
arts
opinion on art?
movies?
Before I put this movie out there, man, he gonna watch the playback.
He minus 12 Angry Men because I don't believe that he authentically picked that. Minus that, I think he picks what he likes, and I can appreciate that.
I think he liked that movie though. I ain't gonna lie,
Movie hard.
because I think most people might like that movie, honestly.
Yeah, I got
Anyway,
9%, bro. Before I gotta get this
yeah,
battery.
yeah. So let me go ahead and announce the movie for next week, man. It's the first time we've ever announced a movie when a nigga wasn't here. We normally don't do that, but next week we will be watching Menace to Society. It's the
I
first.
told you, bro. Black ass shit. Didn't I tell you?
This the first.
I'm not gonna lie,
This
that's fire though. That's
this is a
like
first.
that's a fire ass movie.
We've never
I don't know
watched
about fire
no.
ass movie, but it's definitely like a super popular movie.
This nigga here, man.
This
Tell me
is
when I
a
know
this
this
is a
nigga.
plus this is a hood classic. We haven't watched none of these on the podcast. I'll say
Shit,
that.
I'm not trying to watch no more, nigga. Watched a million of them hoes growing up. I'm over this shit.
Well, hey, I mean, shit. I guess we gotta have one. We gotta have one at least. We ain't got none, unless Tales from the Hood count. I don't know if
You
that
said
count.
about my mama?
So yeah, man. Next week we'll be back with Menace to Society, man. Salute to everybody that pulled up, everybody that watched. Like, comment, subscribe, man. We appreciate all y'all and shit.
Subscribe,
Anything
Kelly.
else?
Kelly Race. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, Kelly, if you're not subscribed, man, subscribe. We appreciate you for pulling up.
Yeah, and if any of that weird shit happened, just hit up a demonologist because that don't sound like no ghost. That sound, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm playing.
If you want to, you can come up here and tell your. Oh, okay. If you want to, you can come up here and tell your story one day. Only if you want to, though.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll let you
ready. That
come up
was me
here
who
so you can
said
give us.
I was trolling when I said I'm gonna get out of here, but I was just playing. So no problem, Kelly Race. Salute to you.
Kelly might have checked this
All right,
nigga.
man. Anything else before we get up out
You
of here?
check me, nigga.
Y'all know, like, comment, subscribe, the usual shit. We'll see y'all next week for hopefully a really good ass movie.
All right, man.
Thanks.
This is another episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast, and we are. Wait for it. Wait for it. I got it. We are out. Wait, no, that's the wrong one.
Good job. Good job.
You got all these damn songs up here, Roots.
I put some too, like some of
I
my
got
beats.
hits,
My
nigga.
bad.